Hey everybody, and welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name's Ryan, and today we're going to start a new project. Just going to be a quick one, and it's going to be pretty neat. You'll have to wait till the end to find out what it is, but we're going to go ahead and get started right away. So what I've got here is this thin piece of maple. It's 1/4 inch, and we're going to make something out of this. So let me get you set up in the stand, and then we can get started. So for what I'm planning, I only need about 2.5 inches of this. We're going to make a mark at 2.5. And now I'll just mark it all the way across. I'm going to go cut it on the miter saw. One thing I need to add to my shopping list is a good drafting compass. I don't have one currently, but we can get around that for now. So what I've done is I've just drawn a center line on each side. You can probably not even see it on the camera because it's just a very light, yeah, now you can probably see it. It's a very light, small mark. And I got something that was close to the radius that we need. So I'm just going to use this. This is very close, not exact, but it's close enough. So I'm going to draw a radius with that. And now I just want to cut this out on my bandsaw. And it's a little bit rough, so now we're going to take it to the sander. Alright, we're just going to hit it with some 220 grit now, just a little bit. Just to smooth it up, clean it up. Alright, that should be good enough. Alright, so the next thing I want to do is I want to round over this edge. The edge that's going to be facing up just a little bit. And so I've got an 1/8 inch round over bit in my router, and I just ran a test cut. I set it to the depth and I ran a test cut on this scrap of plywood, and it's rounding over just so slightly, which is what I want. It's difficult to tell, but it is rounded over a little bit. So now we're just gonna do that on the real piece. Alright, we've got a pretty rounded over edge. Not substantial, but it's just enough. So now we're just going to sand that up a little bit. And you see the router likes to leave some dark edges sometimes, so we're taking those off as well. Looks like that might actually be a grain mark. It's going there and it's also there. Interesting. I might try to sand that up to see if it. I don't think that's part of the wood, but let's see. Yeah, I think that's part of the wood. It's got to be, because I mean, like I said, it's showing up there too. So, interesting. All right, well, that's looking good, nice and smooth. Now let's move on to the next part. So my handwriting is absolutely atrocious. I wish it was nice, but it's not. So that means I've got to do this transfer method. I want to put some words on this piece of wood, and so what I did was I printed out on my LaserJet printer. I printed out what I want to write on here backwards. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my little wood burner. This is part of a wood burner kit, and I'm just going to apply some heat to this side, and it should transfer that to the wood, and then I can trace it with the pencil. So let's give that a shot. I think this is warm enough. Alright, that'll do. See? And it just transfers that powder over, so it makes a nice line for you to trace. Just gonna let that cool off for a minute. Alright, so I do not have an ultra fine tip Sharpie, I just have regular fine tips, and that's gonna be too big for this. This is a very fine, so the regular fine tip won't work, so I'm gonna use this ballpoint pen and hope that it should work pretty well. I'm going to get you moved to the other side so you can see better. Now we're just going to let that sit and dry for about 5 minutes. I'm going to pre-drill some holes, and some of you may know now what this is being used on, but if not, just wait and see. And I just used napkins on each side of the clamp. The other side's to protect the finished surface on this side, and then on this side to protect this badge that I just made, and also quote unquote test, just make sure that ink was dry, which it is. So, next step. Now it's time to find out if my clear coat is any good still. This stuff is very old. I've had it for a while. Well, it stinks good enough. It's got a skin on the top, which is typical. So let's see how bad that is, but I'm going to put this mask on first. this dry for a little bit. But it is going to look pretty once it's dry. It's a semi-gloss, so it'll dry with a little bit of a shine to it, but it won't be this shiny once it fully dries. But it'll have a little bit of a shine. So I'll bring you back once that's dry. Now that we're completely dry, we're ready to get it installed. Alright, so I got these brass screws because I figured those were going to look a lot better with this versus the standard silver screws. So we're going to go ahead and install it with these. There it is. So that's going to serve as the maker's badge for this desk build. And this desk should outlive me. So maybe someday in the future that'll be an interesting find for somebody, who knows. But with that, this video is completed for this little build. And if you would like to see the full desk build, I'll put that link in the description, because this desk is now complete now with this badge done. So with that, I thank you guys for watching, and I will catch you next time. Take care.